A very good morning to you and welcome to, I would like to say, your daily dose of inspiration, your daily dose of news. Yes, this is the Idea Morning Digest here on Idea Television. Today is the 13th of, I say I'll be counting the days for everybody. Today is the 13th of January 2026. And it's like I always tell you, we are glad that you're starting your morning with us. And I'm also glad that, or we are also glad that we are starting your morning with you, because we're bringing you fresh headlines. You're bringing you news that matters around science, around innovation, around entrepreneurship, around things that matters, development, research, all of those issues that concerns you and I. This is the right place, to be. This is the right place, and this should even be the first place you hear them from. Yes, my name is Cynthia Bati, and I'm not alone. I am with
Mary.
Okay, I guess you forgot your name for a while, or because maybe they're still showing. Okay, that's how we welcome you to the Idea Morning Digest. And yes, let's run you through the headlines we are bringing your way this morning. Okay, so the first news we will be bringing your way this morning is that over 21,000 refugees unregistered in Nigeria. And this is coming from the United Nations. And this is what we are going to be talking about on the discussion segment and even tomorrow. So get prepared. And the next news story we're going to be bringing your way this morning is that Microsoft report shows Africa's generative AI use rising, led by South Africa. And Burkina Faso signs science and education cooperation deal with Russia. Then NESTLÉ infant formula in Nigeria safe, not part of UK recall. NAFDAC confirms this and much is what we're going to be bringing your way. And like I told you, we're going to be talking about the refugees unregistered in Nigeria, which the United Nations just reported. But then let's go on this short break so we bring you proper into what we are going to, onto the news stories rather. Stay with us.
9. Hyper-personalized AI tutors and education tech. Education is going through a shift similar to what we've seen in entertainment and shopping. Hyper-personalization. Instead of one-size-fits-all lessons, AI tutors adapt in real time to how a student learns. Khan Academy launched Khanmigo, an AI-powered guide that helps students with math, science, and coding, while also assisting teachers with lesson planning. Duolingo uses AI to personalize language lessons, serving over 80 million monthly users worldwide. Global Market Insights projects that the AI and education market could surpass $30 billion by 2032. By 2026, AI tutors may become as common as textbooks once were.
Okay, welcome back, and good to know that you're still there with us. And in case you are just joining, this is the Idea Morning Digest. And right now, okay, the first story we have here, at least 21,807 refugees and asylum seekers in Nigeria remain unregistered, according to new data released today by the United Nations Refugee Agency. The lack of registration means they cannot access food assistance, healthcare, or other essential humanitarian services. The UN says Nigeria currently hosts about 127,000 refugees and asylum seekers from 41 countries, most of them fleeing conflict in Cameroon's Anglophone regions. Registration delays have been linked to staffing shortages, security constraints, and logistical challenges, particularly in border states such as Borno, Adamawa, and Cross River. Officials warn that the growing backlog is adding pressure to Nigeria's already stretched humanitarian system, as the country also manages millions of internally displaced persons. While Nigeria remains committed to its international asylum obligations, authorities say stronger coordination is needed to speed up registration while maintaining national security. Okay, first off, I'll start with saying when I see these figures like this, the first thing that strikes me is not even the number itself; it's the what the number represents, and which is not so good, because 21,000 unregistered people means 10,000 of lives that exist in a blind spot in this country. So, and in humanitarian work, which I am quite familiar with, when we talk about some of these invisibilities, it's often more dangerous than poverty itself, because it has so many implications. We are talking about, your borders are open to refugees. People are coming into your country to seek asylum, and that means a lot of things. And they are coming into your country to seek asylum. Their data are not being recorded. It means you can not even cater for them. And even the borders they share, the states that have borders that other countries come in from will be stretched thin, because they will be trying to cater for these refugees, and it is going to warn them out. And there are so many implications, like I said. We are battling insecurity. We don't know how they recruit some of these terrorists and whatnot. Those are some of the implications. Ages of people, all of those demographics and, bio and whatnot. It's how a country should maintain order. It is how a country should coordinate its people, whether citizens or not citizens. As long as you are an inhabitant of that country, it is how a country should cater for you. It is security. We are even talking about dignity. We are even talking about identity here. So when people come into the country, even people in the country, I've always asked, can Nigeria account for all of its citizens before we start even talking about refugees? So when people remain undocumented like you don't just deny them aid. You are weakening the data. You are weakening the data of the country. You are, weakening planning. You are weakening security issues, which we are trying to tie very tight. And I think Nigeria is, I understand, which is a very uncomfortable truth. I understand that Nigeria is being, asked to play the host or border guard or humanitarian responder here, and, kind of an internal crisis manager simultaneously. But there's a lot for any country, especially for a country like Nigeria that is already stretched to the brim because of insecurity issues and economic pressures, and then we are now adding more numbers to them. But like I said, I do not want to, emphasize too much on the issue now, because we're going to introduce it kind of in the discussion segment, and then tomorrow we'll have an expert and from the African Liberty, a fellow from the African Liberty, come talk to us proper about this. But then, Mary, let's hear your one or two cents about this.
Like you said, that we do not want to stretch it because we have it on our discussion segment, but at the same time, the UN is saying that Nigeria currently hosts about 127,000 refugees and asylum seekers from 41 countries. That's huge. If the country cannot give accounts of its citizens, it means that it will actually increase insecurity also. So I feel at this point, like you said, we're battling with a lot of things right now in this country, and if these people are not registered, then how can you meet up to their needs? You don't even know that these people exist. They're not even in the plan. They're out of the plan. So they need to be in the plan so that they can be reached out to. Most of these people left their country for one reason or the other, coming here to seek refuge, coming here to know if they can make it, if they can fit into the plan. So I feel at this point that they should be accounted for by being registered. Let's know that we have them on board, and let's know that anything we're providing, we're also including them in the system. Exactly. So nothing we can actually give account of them, like, okay, this one came from this country and is staying in Nigeria, because right now
Ghana, Egypt and Senegal also rank among the continent's top users, though overall adoption in Africa remains well below global leaders. The study, titled Global AI Adoption in 2025, A Widening Digital Divide, finds that nearly 1 in 6 people worldwide used generative AI by the end of last year. Countries with early investments in digital infrastructure and skills continue to dominate, led globally by the United Arab Emirates and Singapore. By contrast, adoption in the global south lags, highlighting a growing digital divide. The report also notes the rapid rise of Chinese platform DeepSeek in several African countries, driven largely by its free access and partnerships with local telecom providers. Analysts said this shift shows how lower-cost, accessible platforms could shape the future of artificial intelligence use in Africa, potentially bridging or bringing millions of new users into the digital economy. Now, I think this is a very fascinating report from Microsoft, and not because Africa is playing catch-up here, but because it kind of exposes how, uneven progress really is, because South Africa leading doesn't really surprise me, because yes, it doesn't really surprise me, because South Africa over time have invested early in digital infrastructure. South Africa is growing, and I don't want to use the word it has grown really
Still
fast.
in the process,
Put
they're
it that
still
way.
growing.
It has grown. It has grown. It's nothing compared to most African countries. I'm not talking of Rwanda. Let's leave Rwanda. But compared to other African countries, Nigeria, other very pronounced African countries like Nigeria, Ghana, and whatnot, South Africa is not. I mean, we are not close to them when it comes to digital infrastructure, when it comes to how fast their digital landscape is moving, and when it comes to even skills pipelines, when it comes to enterprises, when it comes to tech adoption and whatnot, even tech investment, South Africa is not joking about it. They have been doing a lot with it. And what does surprise me here is how quickly AI is becoming normalized among young people and working age Africans. Despite all of this weak infrastructure we are talking about, no network, you cannot afford data. Some people cannot afford standard flagship gadgets. We are just rattling around mid-budget gadgets and whatnot. But let's be honest with ourselves. I feel like using AI tools is not the same as benefiting economically from AI. Yes. It's over time on this. I've said it when I have to talk about AI. How we leverage AI, how we utilize AI. It all boils down to how we utilize it, and then the responsible use of it. Because many Africans are just consumers. We cannot lie. We are just consumers of most of this AI. We are not creators of them. Yes, we are just consumers, because what are we using them for? Content creators dancing on this thing. Not like it is not good. That is part of the contribution in that value chain of the digital landscape. But then we have not seen most trainers from trainers of AIs, owners of these systems. I can say only a few of them came out, but are they pronounced? They are not pronounced. Some of them have even squashed. But I think the distinction here really matters, because if you are only promoting tools built elsewhere, then the value chain will still leave our continent behind. Because we are praising Africa now for using generative AI, but I think it is good, not like it is not good. But I cannot be praising this continent for playing catch-up. I've always talked about us not playing catch-up. So then I will come and be praising us for playing catch-up. No. I'm looking at a country, a continent, Africa, where we will be producers of these things, we will be innovators of these things, we will be thinkers of these things, we will not just be consumers of them, dependent on them, And I think the rise of platforms like moving away from Africa using it or not, I think the rise of platforms like DeepSeek tells another story here, that Africans are not, I think Africans are not brand loyal. Let me put it that way, because wherever something is cheap, that's where you see us. And I don't know, I think they are just, we are very cost sensitive, we are very access driven, and I guess that could be tied back to our economy challenges in most of our countries. Yes, we are just looking for the cheaper way out, but then we don't want to remain at the rat race of at the tail end of the rat race. We want to at least be there, move along with the world, and I think it's okay, but not that okay, because this is not about, I mean, I know that we are talking about survival here, but I just want an African continent that will move beyond talking about survival measures every time, even praising survival measures. We should go into creativity. Exactly. Okay. Exactly.
Creativity, in as much as creativity is the key right now, we see many of our young people that do have this creative mindset, want to do something, but the finance is not there. the government is not really putting eyes on these people to empower them, how can you help? You can actually have a group of people where you can send out to learn these things, come back to this country and invent them and teach other persons, and then from there would go on and on and on. But these days we are saying that we, like you said, we appreciate what we are getting from outside more, and we so praise it that we are involving it in our day-to-day activity. When AI, the invention of AI came into play, many people were like, it's going to take our jobs and all that. But right now, I think we are the consumers more. When it comes to
worker.
When it comes to AI, we are the ones consuming, because when you go on TikTok now, you see what they are doing with AI, you'll be like, wow, this thing was another person's initiative and thinking that came to play.
Exactly.
What are we actually looking at here?
We just keep being testing grounds.
Are you sure we're going to?
We just keep being testing grounds. Yes, because that we enjoy
appreciating
just appreciate. We want them to do it. They do it for. We understand that we are lagging behind when it comes to infrastructure, this and that.
That's true.
But then, like you said, that's where the government needs to come in and understand that, you know, we have to move from adoption to production time around. That's why I say we'll keep on being testing grounds, because when they make it, they bring it here, come and test it. And we know how to test very well. That's why they'll keep bringing free features. These features, I'm using free features.
Will I say we enjoy it? Like
we enjoy it too.
The fact that
I am an African, a proud Nigerian, and even especially Nigerians, we enjoy free things.
Okay.
Yes, that's a marketing step. Just tell anybody free, and don't forget Idea Universities of Interest is free for it.
That one is download to help you grow.
Whenever something is free, who would want to go when something is free? But then let's move to the next. Hope I didn't cut you.
No, you didn't.
Okay, Burkina Faso has signed a 5-year agreement with the Russian Federation to strengthen cooperation in higher education and scientific research. The memorandum was signed on Monday in Ouagadougou, focusing on academic exchanges, research collaboration, and skills development. The deal was signed by Burkina Faso's Minister of Higher Education, Ajima Tiombiano, and Natalia Krasovskaya, I hope I did not murder that name, of Russia's Center for Public Diplomacy. It will support student and staff mobility, including university exchanges, internships, and summer schools aimed at building local expertise. Authorities say the agreement supports Burkina Faso's ongoing higher education is designed to align university training with labor market needs and national development goals. Russia has also expanded scholarship opportunities, with more Burkinabe students expected to study in Russian universities. And
okay, that's an amazing one.
This agreement may, I think, let me not make any mistake. I'm trying not to make any mistake, because this is geopolitics through education. That's the way I'm seeing it, kind of. Burkina Faso isn't just giving, signing a university exchange. I think it's making a statement about who truly shapes the future. That is what you were talking about in the other news, about, you know, that collaboration. If you have the skills and you can, and the knowledge, we have the workforce. And let's merge and see how we can, you know, come together and see how we can propel this. And so I think Russia has long used education and scholarship as a soft power too. That's why I say it's kind of geopolitics through education. I'm not just seeing it from the educational lens. I'm seeing it from the political landscape a little, because Russia has always been on the news when it comes to education, when it comes to, you know, soft power play, especially in countries that redefining their global alliances, you know.
And that's where they get the youth more.
Exactly. So I think I don't want to digress a little, because of a report I saw that they are recruiting, is it Ukraine or Russia, that are recruiting Africans to come fight war for them. A report. Yes, that report came out late last year. I've forgotten where the report came out from, but if I remember, I think I'm going to share it. But training students today, I think, is how you can influence policy thinking tomorrow. Exactly. So I think it is a good step. And, you know, Burkina Faso is under pressure from insecurity, and they are seeking alternatives from, you know, depending on that traditional way of doing things, Western partners. They want to, you know, see how they can diversify their options, and that's where I'm seeing this from. And I think their perspective here is a very strategic one. It makes a very strategic sense to me, because if your universities are misaligned with labor needs, they are misaligned with, you know, external partnerships, you know, that can fast track reform, then you'll be left behind somehow, just like Mary pointed out in the other news. So I think it's very, very strategic. But there's also always a but for me. I just fear the risk here, because I fear the risks of dependency.
Okay.
Because, like, I always go back to, I want Africa for Africa by Africans, you know, Africa that will do something for itself.
By themselves.
By themselves. You know, I do not want that, you know, idea of dependency. We have held it for too long, and I think it's time to break away from it. Yes, break away with all of what we have. And I feel like, but well, when it comes to training models, when it comes to research priorities, when it comes to, you know, expanding knowledge, like I pointed out before, I still go back to that. I think it is still a good one. This is like, it's still a good one, but I don't just want national innovation quietly losing its local anchor. That's what I fear. That is what I fear. But education partnerships are very powerful, and I think this is a good one. We just retain control. But I think with Harare, they are still going to remain in control, yes.
I love the partnership, because capturing youth these days is what is more interesting. When we're talking about the leaders of tomorrow, of course, you're going to train the leaders of tomorrow. And I like the fact that I'm seeing mobility here, including a university exchange, internship, and summer school aimed at building local expertise. That's an amazing one there, because in as much as we want to be Africans of ourselves, like you said, not being dependent, building for ourselves, coming out to stand out to say, oh, this is what we have been able to come up with. In as much as that is happening, I think partnership is another strong thing there that's going on. And I like the fact that in all of our news, or should I say some of our news, we've been talking about education. I'm liking the fact that this year there has been a power push when it comes to education. And I've seen the strong collaboration. I've seen that the governments are not seeing the needs, even if in other countries, of education, because it takes an educated person to think rightly.
Exactly.
And that will also reduce the rate of crime. I'm always emphasizing on crime. When people are educated, when you give them the right education and the right skills, they are meant to focus rightly. And I feel that this is a powerful build for the youth.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
It is. Okay, to the next or the last news story we have here. Nigeria's Food and Drug Regulator, NAFDAC, says NESTLÉ infant formula sold in the country is safe and not affected by the recent recall announced by NESTLÉ in the United Kingdom. The assurance was given today in an official notice signed by the Director General, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye. The agency explained that the recalled SMA infant formula batches abroad were withdrawn as a precaution over possible contamination with cereulide, a toxin linked to food poisoning. NAFDAC stressed that those batches are not registered, authorized, or distributed in Nigeria. According to NAFDAC, SMA and non-infant formula products are available locally and manufactured in Nestlé's Singapore facility and are duly registered with the agency. Nigerians have been advised to avoid unregistered imports, rely on verified information, and report any suspected recalled products to NAFDAC.
What about the people that have already gotten this product in large quantity? What are they to do with it?
According to NAFDAC, it is not in circulation in the country. It's a misinformation.
Okay.
I guess that's what they are trying to
because
clarify.
I've been seeing adverts so far about the formula.
Yes, so I guess NAFDAC did the right thing, but it also exposes that public distrust. When people are not sure about what they are buying, you know, the fact that Nigerians needed reassurance to tell us, it tells us something deeper, because confidence is more like, I think confidence it just tells us that the confidence people have in the supply chain is kind of fragile.
Yeah.
Yes, it's kind of not, people are not certain about it, and especially when it comes to infant health care. Remember we talked yesterday about, Chimamanda's son, and I
Yeah.
was very particular about infant health care, and we should just do better. But I think NAFDAC's clarity here is very important, because food safety pan spreads faster than facts.
Exactly.
The food that will, the one that is okay, nobody will hear
And
about
most
it.
of us, the truth is, most of us Nigerians, we do not check off, or we do not check all these expiring dates on food.
Just go and get what we want.
We just get what we want, and especially when we feel we are buying it from the supermarket, we feel it's authentic and it's not yet expired.
Especially when it is packaged, when it's not a Nigerian product.
We like packaging.
There's this certainty that everything is okay when it is not Nigerian
product.
It's not a Nigerian
checking
product.
the NAFDAC number, there, checking the expiring date.
Yes.
We just consume. At the end of the day, we find out that this is not a good product. Would have checked. So I just feel we should, come up when it comes to checking of our products before consumption, even before waiting for NAFDAC to make announcement. You yourself should take your health personal and go out for it, like looking out at what you consume, what you take, down to the fruits you buy. These things have dates, expiring dates there and all that. You can check them, but we do not have time. We are very, very busy with buying a lot of things.
But I think I like what this news, I appreciate the statement here quietly reinforces, because about that Nigerian regulatory sovereignty and all of those things, and it's more like he's saying that we don't follow what happens abroad.
Exactly.
We know what enters our market, because this is the consumers. These are the consumers coming out to say, are we sure about this product? We heard that this product, I mean, people's eyes are on the ground now, people's ears are on the ground now too, as well, especially when it comes to child health care. And NAFDAC too are on their 10 toes, and NAFDAC has always been on their 10 toes. I always commend that agency, because they are always up and ready. They are always, I mean, since last 2 years, they were very, very busy, up and going, and still in 2026, January, we're still hearing NAFDAC. I heard NAFDAC until we ended, from the beginning of January 2025 to the end of 2025. They are working. But I just, another thing we have to be honest about here is that there is also, let's keep that regulation of imports very, very tight. Yes, you mentioned something, I must go back to that, because some of these things keep slipping into our borders. And like you said, we may not always check them because we believe that they are not Nigerian produce or products. So every, all of this recall, I think this international recall is very, very, very pertinent at this point in time, because it only kind of triggers that local anxiety. You know, this time it is the UK that recalled, and then Nigerian consumers are like, are you sure? Why are we still seeing this in the market? Is this not the product that the UK said is not good? So, but they are saying the one that is being sent to Nigeria is the one being produced in Singapore, not the one being produced in the UK. Good. So, I think we should not always wait for when there's an international recall. We should also tighten our own regulation, our own imports regulation down here in the country, because it's not that when the an international body recalls something, that's when we start to trigger local anxiety and all of those things. So I think the real issue isn't just about safety, it's about having our borders tight, controlled tightly. We should control our borders. Also, consumer education, like you mentioned, to consumer education, very, very important. And retailers should have that sense of, responsibility and accountability to check your product, check what because some people will do it intentionally.
It should be a joint effort now.
They will do it intentionally. Some people will go to, some sellers will go, some traders will go get stuff, and they'll see that this thing has expired. But because I don't waste my money, somebody must buy them. They will not.
And most of them have these things in their shops, which is expired. But
they will not want to. Exactly.
They will still sell it like that. And it's very bad.
I think I just feel like we should just do well with all of these aspects. Just tighten border, regulate this aspect very, very well. Regulate imports, to be precise, very, very well. Okay, I think that's the much we can take for today on the news review segment. But yes, like I told you, the discussion segment is coming, but it will be light because it's more like an introduction into the unregistered refugees in Nigeria. And like I told you, we'll be talking about it at length from an expert point of view tomorrow. So let's go on this short break. We'll be right back.
Machine customers. Machine customers are AI systems that can make autonomous purchasing decisions on behalf of businesses or individuals. These systems analyze data, predict needs, and place orders without human intervention. For example, AI-powered chatbots can reorder supplies for a company when stock runs low. While this trend improves efficiency, it raises concerns about control and accountability over automated processes. As companies explore this concept further, B2B and B2C transactions will increasingly rely on machine customers.
Okay, welcome back, and good to know that you're still there with us. This is the Idea Morning Digest in case you're just joining us, and we're talking about border issues. Yes. Over 21,000 refugees unregistered in Nigeria. So, today, we want to, this is quite a humanitarian focus, and that is where we're, a humanitarian emergency, and that is where we are turning our focus, and it has been unfolding within Nigeria's borders, and this is one that rarely makes it to our headlines. This is something we rarely talk about, but it carries serious implications for human dignity, like I mentioned in the, when I was talking earlier on. It carries deeper implications when it comes to national security, when it comes to regional stability as well. And new figures from the United Nations Refugee Agency have revealed that more than 21,000 refugees and asylum seekers in Nigeria remain unregistered, effectively invincible to the systems meant to protect them. And registration is not just about paperwork. It is a gateway to food, it is a gateway to healthcare, shelter, and of course, legal protection. So without it, you get thousands of people left stranded, left vulnerable to hunger, exploitation, and abuse. And as Nigeria continues to, shoulder the burden of hosting refugees from conflict zones while also managing millions of internally displaced persons, the question today is very simple, but it is very urgent and one that we must ask. Can Nigeria's humanitarian and security systems keep up with a growing refugee backlog without leaving lives behind?
Exactly.
We know the context of this story already because we took it in the news review segment. But then, Mary, what struck me the most about this news story is not just about the number, like I said before. It is the implication of this, what the number truly represents, like I mentioned earlier on. And, because when we get people unregistered, they are it's not just about undocumentation, it's not just about, them being undocumented, rather, it's about them being functionally absent in our society and also from policy thinking. It also means that anytime human beings exist outside official systems, then there is a problem. There will be issues of neglect, there will be issues of abuse, just like we've seen on the news. There will be issues of, that eventual instability, like I mentioned earlier on. And I think this is not just about a refugee issue. It's about how we manage human movement in a region, how we manage, borders as well, how we manage, Nigeria has a very porous border. People can come in and out. I remember when I was traveling from Calabar back to Abuja, and somebody was in the car, and we never knew that person could not speak English. He's coming from Cameroon. He could understand only French, but I think he's a Muslim, and he could understand only French, and I think Hausa. He can speak Hausa to an extent. And then it was when we got to the border that one of the immigration personnel stopped us, and they were like, for their normal checks, and they were like, everybody come out, show your ID cards. Did I even have? Did I go with an ID? I think my dad was the one that showed his ID card, and then okay, they were like, okay, you people are family. Okay, these children, papa, mama, this, that. Okay, you come, and then he came forward. He was just hiding at everybody's, like he was behind. He was shaky, and people were wondering what is going on here. That was until he was recognized, or he was identified not to be a Nigerian. They started asking questions. He was speaking what the people could not even understand, and then they had to call one of the immigration persons that can understand French. Then he started speaking, and I could understand a little of French as at then. So I was trying to tell them what he was saying, that he is from Cameroon, and this blah, 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 and this is what he is saying. So that tells you how our borders are. People can just come in and go out. He was identified. You can imagine, let me shock you. Let me cut the long story short. They allowed him go.
Okay, that's it.
At what basis? I don't know. I couldn't ask questions. I mean, I couldn't have asked any question as at that time. So they allowed him go. So that's to tell you how porous our borders are. People can come in,
and you can
go out.
how
people
many
come in. You get people from Nigeria, people from Chad. Identified properly. So this is a problem, and responsibilities here, especially with our borders, are meant to be very rigid, but they aren't. They aren't at all. So when we talk about registration being about control as much as it is about compassion, let me be a bit blunt here. When we talk about registration, is often framed as a humanitarian favor. That's what we think all of these things are. When we talk about these refugees should be registered and whatnot, it's not just a humanitarian favor. It's about state control. Exactly. It's a state control mechanism, especially Nigeria that is battling with insecurity issues, economic challenges, and we are not talking about our government needs to, register people so they know who is within their borders, who are inhabitants of their country, who are coming here to work, people are not coming here to work, those that are coming to seek asylum, those that are coming for this, so that we can identify people. We are not doing well with data.
Let's even do that so that we can know where our problem is coming from. Exactly. Because right now you keep on hearing unknown government. Unknown, where are they coming from? Where are they coming from exactly? Let our borders be properly checked. To be rigid is not something bad. Exactly. At least people coming in should be well identified. Where are you coming from? Where are you going to? How long are you staying? Even if we are to provide for you, want to know what you're coming. Are you coming to add to our problems, or you're coming to? Should I put it like that? Let's know you. Let's know them properly, because having all these eternally displaced persons and refugees here and there do not even make sense at all. Exactly. If we want to be big brothers as Nigeria, let's be big brothers with proper structure. With the fact that we're battling with insecurity right now. It's enough problem for us to face our borders strictly, especially what comes in, because a lot of people bring a lot of things in from that place and we do not even know. At the end of the day, we're suffering for what we don't know. No. So let's be accountable enough to. And this you have even said, one of the reasons, I guess, is because, not I'm even guessing, it's mostly because we most times see refugees as temporary inconvenience. Exactly. When they come, they will go ahead, because we know these people are coming here to seek help. Maybe there's war in their community, in their countries or something, so they'll just shift. Those, especially in the nearby towns that are close to these borders, will run, and come to other countries to seek refuge. Then when they come, we'll just take them like their temporary inconvenience. When they finish, they'll go, but let's help them for the Do we even know when they are going back?
You get, so I feel like that sense of urgency will just, disappear. We will not take all of these things, but we also understand that displacement in these regions it has been short term, and so treating it like an emergency instead of a long-term reality, one that needs, proper policy. It will become a policy error, and that is what it is becoming. Yes. For the UN to come and identify that, most of the states that are burdened with these refugees are stretched thin already. Cross River State, Borno State, Adamawa State. These are the places. All of the I just shared the story with you
Yeah.
that, somebody was coming in from Cameroon to, Cross River has a border with Cameroon. So when all of these people come in, the funny thing is that they'll be making plans here in Abuja about refugee, how to cater for them. But when the real need, when it arises, is those states that have borders with this country that will be bothered with the issue.
Of course.
You can
I
see
love
the pun there.
that.
That will be bothered with these responsibilities.
Yes.
So, and it's a problem. You see a state that is trying to cater for its own people, then you are, but it should be a policy. It should be put into the policy. And we know there is policy catering for this. There are policies, or there is a policy. I am very sure. But I don't know how effective it is. So we are not saying that refugees should not come. People should not seek refuge in Nigeria, or we should not, people should not come and seek asylum in Nigeria. What we are saying is that Nigeria, we are battling with our own issues. But if we must have refugees come into our country, get their data. Because we have a growing problem of insecurity.
Of course.
And we are trying to tackle it. So how else? Immigration is a serious security problem too. That's in as much as it is a humanitarian problem. So we should understand that this could be another growing challenge. It is a crisis already. It is. It is. For the UN to come out and identify it, it is already. So I think we should just do better with data. Where are we at with, data-driven, technologies and whatnot? If we say we cannot go house to house to can, I remember the last census, it has not still been conducted. I don't know how they did it, because I was supposed to participate.
Are we registered?
I was supposed to participate and go and count people too.
Okay.
And I waited and I heard that, it has been postponed. And until now, I've not heard anything. So I don't know how it was run. And that was in 2023, 2024, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Where are we at with it? Every day we are over 200 million in Nigeria. We are over 200 this in Nigeria. We are over 200 this in Nigeria. In this Nigeria that I'm saying like this.
You sure we're not even up to that number?
And we have started saying that border states are paying the price. Yes, because these states are overwhelmed. They cannot, cater for this, because registration has become the least urgent task compared to all of those immediate survival strategies and whatnot. Like, let's give them food, let's give them security for now, let's give them a place to sleep, and then at the end of the day, that food and shelter you want to give them will not turn out to be the problem again, because these states are left to cater for them. Then they are overstretched. They are trying to cater for their own people in their own state. They are overstretched, and they can no longer feed everybody.
And it becomes a problem.
It becomes a problem.
These people want to look for a way to cater for themselves. And looking for a way, but they might not look for a way the right way.
Exactly.
They might, in the process of looking for a way, they would commit one crime or another, adding to the problem of the society already. So that's why we need all these people to be accounted for. Like, something came to my mind when you were talking about registration and having people's data. In my head, I'm like, even the people that are not refugees yet in this country, that we as citizens, are we really recognized? Have they been catering for the people here? Talk more of the people over there.
We're catering for ourselves.
We're catering for ourselves. That's it. So it's an additional problem to the country, which we do not need right now, because we're trying to make sure things align. We're trying to make sure things are put in place with everything that is happening right now, especially insecurity.
Yeah, I like when you mentioned
especially insecurity. Because when we are able to account for people coming from the borders, we can at least solve a little of our problem to know where this insecurity, because it's like it became very, very bloody 2025 around. That's what I think, because with what I saw going on, it was not friendly at all. And most people were just saying, these people are not from Nigeria. They don't talk, they don't dress like Nigerians. For the ones they saw, for
with
the
how
ones
diverse we are in culture, in tribes, in whatnot.
Okay. So I think that should be looked into by the government.
When you mentioned the issue about the security conversations we are trying to avoid here with this issue, I like that you mentioned that because like you rightfully said, most of these unregistered people, they are very vulnerable, and you mentioned that too, because like you said, they create that security blind spot because they can easily recruit them. Yes. Of course. Can easily recruit them. They can easily, call. I think this is where humanitarian idealism should meet that security realism. They must find the balance. I always talk about balance ground. They must find the balance ground. I think this is where they should meet, because when people are outside the system, they become easy targets for criminal networks.
Very, very easy.
Easy targets, because people want to look for a way to, survive. There's no education for them. There's nothing. Yes. So whatever means they see, they just want to, go there, and then find means to survive. There will be extremist recruiters. There will be traffickers. There will be trafficked, rather. There will be smugglers. They will use them for so many things. And not because they want to be, but because
of the situation
desperation will, removes choices. There's a level you get to in life, and you say whatever comes, whatever the alternative is, is there even an alternative? Whatever it is, just let life just play it out.
At that point, you just want to survive.
You just want to survive.
Whatever it takes.
You just want to survive. So I think security agencies sometimes see refugees only as, they see them only through that risk lens. Oh, you get these people at risk, and then humanitarians too on their own end, they used to see them as victims. And sometimes I'm just like, all these views, this way we view refugees is very incomplete to me. I think we should view them more than that, because this registration is very important. While we are trying to play compassionate, and while we are trying to be security conscious, we should also bridge that gap between compassion and security. And because if that bridge collapses, everyone will be in trouble. The country will be in disaster as well. So we have to do more with that. You wanted to say something?
I said that many of them do not have formal education where you can even communicate rightly to them, or want to. Even
if they have formal education, it was halted because of there is war in your country. It's just like the internally displaced. I like that they even mentioned internally displaced person in the news, in the report, because there's internally displaced persons. You were going to school, you're having a normal life, and then war came to your state or to your community. Everything will stop for you. So it's not like most of them are not educated. Education may just be disrupted completely. And then for those little ones, that's where you can say no education at all, because we are trying to cater for internally displaced persons. We are now trying to cater for refugees. I mean, it's a whole lot on Nigeria, and we're hosting refugees. We are managing millions of IDPs. We are dealing with poverty. I'm not going to remove that, because the whole of Nigeria, everybody in Nigeria is dealing with something. We are dealing with poverty. We are dealing with inflation. We are dealing with insecurity. So I think it's a problem, and at some point, our system will get tired.
Of course.
Yes, because even trying to cater for Nigerians and say, it's I don't know, shaky somehow, and even if we don't want to admit it, I think if we don't want to admit it, that's what I see here, because I'm not talking about indifference. I'm talking about the exhaustion, because we will be tired. We will be tired. No matter how we want to play Big Brother, we will be tired.
Why are you using the Big Brother?
We are Big Brothers.
Okay.
We are Big Brothers in Africa. Nigeria is Big Brother to all African countries. So even if we want to play it, we played it in Benin. We went there and we did that in, see how we just disbanded or, scattered the whole plan and everything. And,
I like the way you're describing
put peace into my country. Nigeria is a great country after all. But, put peace in the country. And we're trying to do that in our country as well. I think the president is trying. He's trying.
Okay.
He's trying to do one or two things. So, because no matter how we see it, these are countries that share borders with us. Okay. We cannot completely just tell them, go away. You get, when they run to the country, we have to find a way to help them. But the way to help them is to identify them. That's what we are saying. Get data correctly so that because all of this responsibility, they will not just disappear because capacity is stretched. Nigeria just need to restructure how to handle displacement properly. I think that's what we need, and learn how to decentralize response and learn how to plan for long term, because we like reactive responses. When something happens, that is when you see us run and say, hey, what are we going to do about it? Now that this report has come out, you start hearing, what are we going to do about these are things. Even as this report is like a call to action. It should also be, in as much as it is a call to action, they should also plan for long term, not just, okay, because they have called us out, what are we going to do about this now, and so we go off the news. But let's think about coordination.
I feel that why issues have been looked into is because it's there in the news, and once it has lasted for 2-3 days, is down, is going down, there are no responses anymore. There are no push to do what is needful. You see that reluctantness, you see that procrastination will come in. Okay, let's move to the next case that is pressing. Let's move to something else that is trending. And I don't think that is nice, because attacking what is trending for that time is trending and leaving it after everything is not nice, because that problem remains unsolved.
Yes.
And one way or another, you will fall back to that problem. So I just feel now that it's in the news, it should not just be looked at like, oh, it's in the news, let's look for what to do. Like you said, we'll start running up and down now to know, oh, what can we do? How can we put things to order? And then at the long run, you just see everybody relaxing. Let's leave this. And don't forget, while you're relaxing, the news will still come up again. Because when it's not attended to, people will still bring it up.
Exactly.
At that point, you start coming back to do what you were supposed to do before.
People are not just bringing it up because they are bringing it up, because the problem is affecting us. And
it's affecting us,
yes,
of course.
I think I just feel like this is where everybody needs to be involved.
Of course.
Yes, both the government, both humanitarian agencies, both security agencies, and every one of us, because you will hear that humanitarian agencies will tell you that they depend on government for access.
Okay.
Government will tell you that they depend on security for clearance. Why security will tell you that they depend on intelligence to get their own. Everybody is dependent on something, and everyone will be there waiting for someone else to make the first move.
Okay.
You get so, and that is not what we want. We want Nigeria does not need more sympathy statements.
I would ask you at this point, which of them do you want to respond for? Which of them do you feel is holding?
Everybody should come together. Everybody should come together.
The first move should be.
Everybody should come together. All of humanitarian agencies, government to security agents, everybody should come together, because Nigeria does not need more sympathy statements. Nigeria does not need more emergency pledges. We don't need any report to come and call us to action again. What we need is clear leadership, ownership. And I remember yesterday I talked about ownership. That sense of ownership, very important. Let's stop seeing managing refugees should come with clear leadership, ownership. It should be in the policy properly, not just something that is by the way, because we are taking it as something that is by the way. Whenever it resurfaces, like you said, that's when we'll now go and attend to it. But then I think we just need one command structure. We just need an accountability, source. We just need one accountability line, one sense of urgency, not this one is doing their own, everything is just scattered, humanitarians are complaining, states are doing their own. As they are writing all of the policy and whatnot in Abuja, let it bring states together. Call especially those states that have borders with these countries that are, that refugees come from. Call them, let's plan together, collect the data of this, work together. I think that's just what we just need, coordination, and coordination will not come by accident. Coordination is very structural, coordination is very strategic, and that is what we need. And until we face all of these backlogs, I think we'll keep, all of these issues will keep resurfacing, like you said, and growing quietly, and it's a crisis. It's a crisis. But then, Mary, let's get your last word so we can call it a day.
Did I say you've already said what I wanted to say?
Okay.
Everybody should just come together and do what is right, and let's do the needful moving forward. Okay.
So, yes, it no longer needs that conflict is, persisting across the region, and displacement will not slow down, but systems can surely adapt. the fate of over 21,000 unregistered refugees is not just a humanitarian issue any longer. And we have re-emphasized this, during the course of the discussion. It is a test of governance. It is a test of coordination, compassion in a fragile region. And the conversation, like we always say, doesn't just end here. We invite you to continue the discussion with us, share your thoughts, follow our updates, and engage across all our digital platforms at Idea Television. Join the conversations, follow us so that you can stay informed. Also go through our websites, go through our social media platforms, send us messages via our email at Idea TV Limited as well. And do not forget that Idea Universities of Interest second edition is out and is there free. That free is coming with, like, in capital letters. It's free and is ready for us to download. And also the audio videos are on our social media platforms, on YouTube as well. You can go and watch them and see how we have spotlighted the Pan-African universities. What you can say about it. What do you need the government to do to help such university grow? Because the African Union have come together to put this university in place, but how can we make it grow so that it can be that hub of innovation in Africa? That is what we are saying today. But my name is Cynthia Bassi, and I have been with
Mary Ochumajo.
Okay, and this is how we say bye.
Bye for now.